Hi, morning. What we're going to be studying today is the organizational behavior. Organizational behavior is a subject which is a new concept which has come into the management over the last 20 to 30 years. The focus on organizational behavior has come in because organizations have started realizing over the last few decades that their main asset is the manpower that they employ. This is a dramatic shift which is there from what used to be a concept of machinery and the factories which was there and considered to be as the main asset. As the industrial revolution came through and people started learning and the concept started changing towards more man focused approaches, the concept of organizational behavior began to be becoming a very crucial element. Organizations started realizing that if they have to function properly, if they have to continue to grow, if they have to go beyond the borders, if they need to control the organization with a common thread, they need to focus on what is called in as a study of the behavior pattern of the organization. When we say study of the organizational patterns, basically you are referring to the manpower behavior which is there. This manpower behavior, which is guided by the aspect of the aims, the goals, the vision and the mission an organization sets out for itself. In the course of this lecture today, what we are going to be looking at and what we are going to be studying is the aspect of what is the importance of organizational behavior. We are going to look at what is the role of organizational behavior. We are going to look at how organizational behavior over the last few years has come into the existence and what is the importance of it in these current days. We are going to start with the first slide which is there, which you see here in front of your screens, saying you should be able to answer what makes organizational behavior a very important tool in modern management. And the second, understanding the complex mixture of individual behavior in the success of organizations and their goals. Having said these two topics which are there, what all of you need to understand and what all of you need to focus upon is the aspect that end of the day organizations are a group of people. Organizations are a group of varied people because luckily or unluckily no two people are the same. None of us, you or me or anybody else, actually has the same behavior patterns. We all tend to be different from each other, sometimes a little bit, other times a lot. If that was not bad enough for an organization, the situation is that all of us are never the same. We tend to behave differently in different conditions, or we tend to behave differently even in the same conditions when they are given to us at different point of times. Every individual is a different individual. When we say is a different individual, not only is he or she different from one person to the other person, he or she is different in his or her behavior from morning till evening. Just to give you a small example, if we look at our own behavior patterns, we are a different person in the morning when we wake up. When we are commuting for our work and we are surrounded by people around, we are a different kind of a person. Our behavior, actions and our patterns are different. When we are in the office, we tend to be different. We behave differently with different sets of people. We are smiling towards our colleagues. We are maybe at times unhappy with our service staffs. We are very respectful to our seniors and our bosses. As the day progresses, we behave differently with the different time of the day. Once we go out and we are going back and we are with our friends, we are a totally different person as far as our behavior goes. And when we go back and are with our family, we are a different personality or a different set of behavior expressions. Now, exactly this concept is what has been picked up by the organizations to understand what are the characteristics, what are the features, what are the avenues or the aspects which combine together to show or to give us our behavior patterns. As we go across, we are going to learn and understand these aspects, that how do organizations and why do organizations need to study this, and how do organizations use this information for their own benefits. We are going to move on to the next slide to understand this aspect. We have a little bit of a simplified or explanation of organizational behavior given here. It says organizational behavior is the study and application of knowledge about how people, individuals and groups act in an organization. Let's break it down and understand what we are talking about. We are saying organizational behavior is the study, step 1 or the first thing to be understood. It's a study. Organizations are spending time, effort, money and energy in trying to study individuals. They are trying to figure out about who the people are, what are they doing, why are they doing certain things, and what is the reason behind them doing those things. So, it is actually a study. Now, the study does not make people as subjects. It is a study which is going on as a simultaneous exercise in all organizations, where people are observed, people are reviewed, people are looked upon as their performances and outcomes are there. So, the first thing in organizational behavior study or aspects is that it is a study and application of knowledge about how people, individuals and groups act in organizations, which means we are not only looking at an individual person, we are looking at that person as a group, because all organizations are groups formed of both formal and informal groups. So, how does a person perform or behave in groups is a very crucial phenomena for understanding the organizational behavior patterns. And more importantly, the organizational behavior study is about using this knowledge which has been gathered. Now, when people are studied, when people are observed, when people are reviewed, organizations tend to bring together all this information together. They try and build this information together and use it. When we say use it in the sense that organizations using this phenomena try to find out what are the common characteristics, what are the ways and means by which people will be able to perform better, what is it that the organization needs to focus upon, who are the potential troublemakers, what are the aspects which need to be handled carefully for the organization, what is it that the organization needs to be prepared for, because organizational behavior studies and knowledge collected gives organizations a futuristic aspect for their organizational development, which means organizations can plan, can structure or can line up what they should be doing in the coming times for the betterment of the organizations. We are going to move down to the next point where it says it does this by taking a system approach, that is, it interprets people organization relationships in terms of the whole person, whole group, whole organization and a whole social system. Now, what does it say? Very importantly, we are going to move down first to the points to remember. If you say at the bottom of the slide, it says organizational behavior is a structured and a systematic approach. Structured and systematic approach, which means it is not a random study. It's not a study where it's about, oh, I observed a person doing something, so his or her behavior pattern is like this, or I saw a person indulging in an activity and I classify the person as good or bad. Organizational behavior is a very systematic and a scientific study. When we say it's a systematic study, it's saying that we are interpreting people from a lot of different aspects. We are interpreting people from the aspect of one. The first one is people organization relationships, which means we are observing people to see what kind of a relationship does a person share with the organization, which means is the person happy to be with the organization, is the person feeling like he or she is a part of the organization, is the person willingly doing that job which has been given to him or her, is the person involved with the achieving of the goals of the organizations, or on the other hand, is the person there because the person has a problem, or the person is there only because a person has to do the job. So we are looking and reviewing a person from the aspect of people organization relationships. Now this relationship comes out of a combination of a few things. The things which contribute to this is one, the individual person himself or herself, which means what kind of a person is he, what kind of an attitude does the person carry, what kind of a personality does the person exhibit, what kind of behavior patterns does the person show. That's one aspect to be studied. The second aspect is studying the whole group, which means studying what kind of a group is the person involved with. This includes, as I said earlier, both formal and informal groups. We are going to study the formal and the informal groups eventually in the chapter, giving out the descriptions and the patterns of how they operate. But right now, on the onset, people belong to both kinds of groups. Formal groups, which is defined by the organization, which gives them the scenario or the job profile which is there for them, and the informal, which means their friends, their group of people whom they sit around with, they have their lunches with, they go out with. So that's the second area of study which involves the studying aspect. The third, the whole organization, which means how is the whole organization per se structured, what are the aims and the goals of the organization that are to be achieved, are people comfortable, confident, happy and following to achieve them as the organizational goal or not. So we need to study the whole organization simultaneously. And the last aspect which is to be studied is studying the whole social system in which an organization is functioning or operating in. Just to give you a small example to understand how and why a social system study is important is, we have organizations which are spread over boundaries worldwide. Just take the example of, say, a McDonald's. A McDonald's in America does not behave the same way as a McDonald's in Dubai does, or a McDonald's in India does. What is the difference? It's still a McDonald's, it's still serving burgers, but the people who are working in a McDonald's in America, people who are working in a McDonald's in Arabia, Dubai, or people who are working in a McDonald's India, understand that there is a social system involved. There are different cultural aspects involved. There are different demands and the customer behaviors are different. So what does it do? It tries to build in within the organization behavior patterns so that in all the three places they adjust to the behavior patterns which are there. Now, this is an outcome of the study of the organization and with relevance to the social system which is surrounding it. So, to understand the organizational behavior aspects in a complete perspective, studying a whole social system simultaneously is a very crucial aspect. So, as we are seeing, the whole system which is there of studying organizational behavior is a huge area which is there, which means it starts with an individual and finishes up with a whole social system study which is there. So, what you are looking at here is that it is a vast area of study which compiles together all the aspects and comes up with a study which the organization is looking for using itself for the benefit of the organization. We are moving on to the second point, and we see the purpose is to build better relationships by achieving human objectives, organizational objectives and social objectives. One liner but says a lot. Let's read this again. It says the purpose of organizational behavior study is to build better relationships. How? By number 1, achieving human objectives, number 2, achieving the organizational objectives, and number 3, by achieving social objectives, which means organizational behavior studies goes way beyond only the welfare of the organization. It is a three-way objective achieving study, in which the first objective of making people comfortable, making people happy, making people committed is being achieved, which we call in as the human objectives. Second, the objectives that an organization achieves its goal, an organization succeeds, an organization is there for what it exists for. And the last but not the least and most importantly, organizational behavior for achieving social objectives, which means looking at the aspect of achieving a social acceptability, achieving the aspects of social stability, achieving the aspects of how society can benefit from the functioning of people and organizations which are there. So, the study of organizational behavior is a combination of a lot of things and simultaneously deliverance for a lot of things. So, we need to keep that in mind, that is why organizational behavior is a very important aspect. We are moving to the next slide, which says, why do organizations need to invest in this study? Why is it that organizations would spend so much of time, effort and energy in doing this study? Because this study is not an easy study. Why is it not an easy study? Is because number 1, understanding human behavior is very difficult. Categorizing human behavior patterns, why people do certain things, when they do certain things, how they do certain things is a very difficult thing to predict and to generalize. Number 2, it's a very expensive exercise. Organizations spend a lot of money in trying to identify the parameters, in trying to put together the features, in trying to put things together. Number 3, it's investing a lot of time and energy. Organizations or behavior patterns do not come out overnight. It's a long study, it's a multi-dimensional study. It needs a lot of time and energy to compile this information together so that it can be used as a knowledge. So, the question comes in, why do organizations need to invest so much into these aspects? We have already seen in the previous slide that the purpose are 4. 1, to build better relationships. for all three things, for human objectives, for organizational objectives and social objectives. That is why organizations by default or willingly invest so much of time, effort, energy and other aspects into this area, making organizational behavior a very important component for not only their success, but for the well-being of their people as well as the well-being of the society that they are existing in. We are going to move on to the next one. By now I think we have a clear idea of what is organizational behavior and how is it that it is studied and why is it studied. So, we are going to move on to the next slide to understand how it does. As I said, organizational behavior encompasses a wide range of topics. It is about people in the organization, because organizations are basically people who are there. So, what are the aspects which are studied when a person's behavior is to be identified? Organizations try to answer the following questions when it comes to studying the behavior patterns of people. Number one, who they are. That is the first thing that they try to identify. Now, when they say who they are means, what is the aspect of people, what is their general approach, what is it that they are representing. The second thing organizations focus on or try to come up with is how they think, which means what is the mindset or the thought process individuals hold, what is their thought process about the organization itself, about the society that they are working in, about the nature of work that they are performing, and about the people surrounding them, or even about the management, or even about the social aspects which are prevalent. That is a very important aspect for organizations to understand and have an answer to, which is how people think. The next point which is there is how and with whom they interact, because as there is a very famous English saying, people are known by the company they keep. Now, this is actually a very true and a factual situation. Our behaviors are influenced and affected by the people we tend to interact with or people we tend to be surrounded with. So, organizations look out for those answers. Who are the people that people interact with or they come in contact with? The next, how they behave, which means what is the outcome that they exhibit after all the aspects which are thrown in. How do they behave in similar circumstances? How do they behave in different circumstances? How do they behave in different situations and circumstances which are given? They want to know that and they want to identify those aspects or parameters. The next, how they coordinate and why, which means what brings people together to coordinate. Is it that they are willingly coordinating? Is it that pressure makes them coordinate? Is it certain criteria make them coordinate and come up together? What are those aspects which are there? So, it is about identifying how they coordinate with the others and why do they coordinate, because if organizations get an answer on why people coordinate and how they coordinate, they can use it for their well-being in a much bigger and a healthier way. So, this is what organizations try to identify when they are trying to identify individual people working in the organizations. We are going to move on to a next topic or continuation to the previous topic. We are looking at what all does the study of organizational behavior cover. Now, previously we have been seeing and we have been looking at is that organizational behavior is a multi-dimensional aspect, which means why people or organizations behave in a particular manner is not studied from mere observation. It is studied from the aspects of understanding a lot of different and various topics which are there. Understanding individual behavior again is an aspect which is built up on a lot of things. So, what we are going to look at is in the next two slides is the topics which are there, which are reviewed or which are studied for understanding the behavior patterns which are there, and the topics which influence and affect people's behavior and organizations behavior. So, what we are going to look at now in the next two slides are these topics. What is the first topic? The first topic is perception. We are going to take up this in the second lecture, that what is perception and how does it affect and influence a person's behavior, or how does it influence an organization's working, or how does it affect or influence an organization's prospects in the market. The second topic which is there is the learning topic, which means how receptive are people to learning, how receptive are organizations to learning, how does learning bring about a change in the organizations which are there. The next topic that we are going to be looking at is the motivational aspects, a huge and a very, very important aspects, because motivation can make or change or break organizations. Motivation has a huge role to play in organization and the behavior patterns exhibited by people. So, we are going to study motivation. It covers this aspect. The next topic which organizational behavior covers is communication. Communication by far plays a huge role in how we behave. A proper communication can result in wonderful results. An improper communication can create havoc in organizations. So, behaviors influence due to communication is a very crucial aspect which is to be studied under the topic of organizational behavior. Stress, modern days management outcomes, or modern day business or organizational byproduct, makes and affects the behavior patterns in a lot of ways. So, we are going to study how people's behavior is affected and influenced by stress, how organizations need to manage this aspect and how it can be handled. The next topic that we are going to be looking at is groupism, both formal and informal groups, and how does it affect and influences the behavior patterns of people. The next is teams, the formally structured teams by organizations. That's what affects and influences our behavior. Today, I am teamed up with somebody I get along very well. My behavior is different, my results are different. Tomorrow, I am teamed up with somebody whom I don't like. My results vary, my behavior varies. So, we need to understand how this affects and influences the behavior patterns of people and how it affects and influences the organizations in their attempt to achieve their desired results. Leadership, a very, very crucial aspect. Most of the people are affected, influenced, and their behavior affected in a big way from the type of leadership that is there. A lot of people perform differently in all types of different leadership patterns. Despite the fact that the person is the same, he or she tends to behave differently when they are put under different types of leaders. So, organizational behavior encompasses to see how the leadership aspects influence and affect the behavior pattern of people and the organizations. The next topic is organizational culture. Culture plays a crucial role in the formation of our behavior patterns. Similarly, culture plays a huge role in the formation of the Okay. After organizational culture, the next point which is to be understood and affects the behavior pattern is the power. Now, power basically means in an organization or in a society who has the power to influence and affect. It does not necessarily mean the hierarchy. It means what are the power centers in the organization or the society which are affecting and influencing. This affects the behavior in a big way. The next topics which are there are conflicts. Human beings by nature tend to get into conflicts. They can be personal conflicts, they can be ideological conflicts, they can be goal conflicts, or a lot of other types of conflicts. Now, conflicts lead on to a difference in the behavior patterns. So, it needs to be studied and handled. The next aspects are changes. A lot of people are not receptive to the changes, or on the other hand, a lot of people like changes. Now, in both the cases, whenever changes are brought about, it brings about a change in the behavior patterns. Under organizational behavior studies, this is to be studied, how and what does changes affect the people. Next are the developments, which means what are the developments happening while an organization is growing, while a person is growing, or the external developments in the society. All the developments affect and influence the behavior patterns of people and have a direct impact on the organizations. So, organizational behavior encompasses these developmental aspects. Results. Nothing succeeds like results, and people's behavior depends on results. What are the personal results showing? What are the organization's results showing? What are the society results showing? Affects and influences the behavior pattern of people. So, organizational behavior focuses on the aspect of the results which are there. The other aspect which is studied is the goals. Are the goals being achieved? Are the goals being achieved within time? Are the goals being achieved within limits? Makes the behavior patterns different for the organization and the people involved. So, organizational behavior studies what are the impacts of the goals which are there, or are the goals realistic enough for people to be working, or are they not. So, all these aspects combined together throw in the study of organizational behavior. The point to remember here is that for an organizational behavior study to be a holistic study, a lot of varied different dimensions are studied and compiled together for getting the outcomes. This brings us to a point where we have incorporated, or we have brought into the situation of organizations putting through their aspects together and studying the organizational behavior. In our next lecture, what we are going to look at is the approaches which are there and the development which has happened for the organizational behavior studies. Thank you so much.